That could be a thing that's done.
What? You mean
Possible.
like live tribe talks?
What?
Wow. We could totally talk about Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and stuff. Ranger looks different this week. We had a running joke last week that Ranger looked a lot like Carthrick. So I think it's only fair that this week on Tribe Talks we mentioned that Carthrick looks a lot more different to Ranger, or Ranger looks a lot different this week. I think that's about fair. How you doing, gents?
Yeah. I'm doing well. Doing good. Living the life.
Doing good. Talking shit. Eating.
Multitasking poorly.
Food. Multitasking poorly. I mean, we are men. If the multitasking doesn't involve flipping a burger whilst drinking a beer, we're not too good at it.
Now that I can do.
That I can.
Burgers and beers.
Burgers and beers.
Oh yes. Yep. Mm-hmm. This is the multitasking I'm capable of. You know.
Speaking my language. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely about the limit I have.
Yeah. No, my multitasking is a whiskey in one hand and a beer in the other.
Oh, chasing your whiskey with a beer. It's
I mean, or whatever.
Yeah,
that's just efficiency right there.
Just chasing my beer with the whiskey. That's
cigar
what we're doing.
in the other. Yeah.
Oh, that's another one I can do. I can do
and
that
I can
one.
do all of these things simultaneously whilst having a blowjob. That's how multi-talented I am.
I mean,
well,
yes.
that one you're getting an assist on, so I mean.
Well, God, you hope.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Ron Jeremy over here.
Yes. Yes, we hope.
Oh God.
Indeed.
That's one of the more interesting starts to the show that we've had, but there we go. Oh, dear me. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Tribe Talks, the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes podcast, where all we talk about is Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, featuring the Welshman, the Whale, and the Wolf. That's all three of us back together once again as a merry band of bullshitting travelers. Oh, gosh. I know it sounds weird, but it's been a long week. It's been a long week. And,
yeah. For a short week, it's been a long week.
For a real short week, it's been very long. It's.
Did you guys also have Monday off or no?
No.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay. Well, I know you did. I meant over there.
Oh,
because we have our Labor Day on. It's the first Monday in September, so we had this past Monday off.
We had the week before Monday off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So
International Labor Day is a different day.
Yeah. And that was nice. That was nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
Fucking A.
It was good because
short
I was
week.
like, oh, it's a short week. Oh, I didn't realize. That's nice.
Ugh.
Well, the problem with the short weeks is many people still expect you to get everything done in the same week that when you had the Monday
the 4 days, the 4 day week.
Yeah,
they're like,
well,
why
you know,
doing your stuff?
Yeah, like, well, we still gotta do shit, so I don't care. So it's just, you still got to get all the shit done. So you end up just like rushing through fucking everything through it. Just ends up being more hectic of a week. But you know what? That's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah. When we're a little busier in our construction, we don't take it off. We'll work through the week as normal, and then what we'll do is we'll tack it on to like Thanksgiving or Christmas. We'll tack on a free day of PTO for everybody.
Ah, that's nice.
Like it's like. Nobody wants that week where it's like you're down a day and you're still trying to get 5 days worth of stuff done now in 4 days instead. And it's just like, yeah, screw that. We don't really care enough.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Plus, more people, I imagine, want the time off over Christmas anyway.
Yeah, they usually do.
I would say spend it with family, but I mean to eat too much and get drunk.
Yeah, but it's
that's
great
it.
when you can
That's what I
have
do with my
Thursday
family.
and Friday as paid days off instead of just Thursday.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's exactly what we want to do. I mean, that's definitely what I want to be. If given the choice, I would do that every day. I just eat too much and drink too much. Yeah, maybe nap half the day and, see what happens. Could get crazy in this bitch. That's
Very well could.
I like that, this week we had the kit reveal on Tuesday for Silvo, so I decided to get the Silvo kit reveal as the background photo, and I've managed to fit Jude Law's nose between Carthrick and my picture in the background over there, and I don't know, it's making me feel a particular kind of way.
He's giving you a whiff.
It's giving me Squidward vibes right now. I'll be honest. It's just it's an interesting.
A little bit.
Does anybody else get Uncanny Valley as well from looking at Silvo? That I know it sounds dumb, but the picture, the release poster for Captain Silvo, it looks like his head is photoshopped on. And I know that's funny because it's all done digitally, but it looks like they've superimposed his head on top of it. It's really strange. I mean, maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just...
It's more like they asked ChatGPT to Photoshop in their art style his face onto their body of the kit.
Yeah. What does his hands look like? Check out the hands. He's got all the fingers, not too many fingers. He hasn't got something like, I don't know, like an arm randomly spouting out of a shoulder or something. That's
No.
I suppose
that we know of.
That
it is possible.
It's a front profile. He could have a third arm on the back of his back.
Silvo is a master of disguise. He changed his name like 15 times, and so, I think that means he's basically a different person every time. So he could, in one of his personas, have tentacles. Who the fuck knows? I didn't say nothing. I didn't say tentacles. What? Who said tentacles? What?
If that is the case, then we know that CG could do a whole era on just different versions of Silver. We could have like 7 Silvos.
Let's not.
Jogman, Wood, and Silvo.
I'm already
kind
of pirated it out.
Actually, no. Real quick on that though, I was actually kind of surprised with that because actually no, hold on, they didn't say it in game. All right, no, in the kit reveal it said Captain Silvo, and I think it said like John the Nowod on there, right?
Yeah, it did. But it's
all right, but it doesn't say that in game.
No,
okay,
no.
So they're leaving it open.
Yeah.
But it's sort of both characters anyways, because isn't he wearing the helmet in battle?
In battle, he's got the really dumb looking helmet. Yeah.
Right. So that's like the Captain Silver persona, and then the non-helmet, he's
helmet.
The
Packers helmet.
I don't know. It just looks fucking silly.
Green Bay Packers wear a giant triangle cheese on their helmet, or the fans wear Packers fans wear like giant triangles.
Do they pack cheese?
I don't have any idea.
They're cheese heads.
They're cheeseheads. But anyways, it's just American football.
That's all I got for you. A nickname and it stuck.
I guess I have no idea why you'd want to be wearing a cheese wedge on your head to support a football team, but
cheese is delicious.
It's the state, man. Come on.
Well, dude, I don't know enough about football to give a shit. So that's all.
I don't know enough about.
It's not a football
Wisconsin.
thing; it's a state thing.
Well, listen.
Do they have lots of cheese there?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But in the other side of it is does remind me of the helmet. That's all my point was.
Okay.
It does look rather silly. But yeah, so they got both of those personas wrapped up into one. So we could eventually get like another version of him, like him with the lightsaber or something like that. But I don't know. Maybe if there's a Skeleton Crew season 2, which I'll be honest, I did enjoy Skeleton Crew, so I'd be down for a season 2. Yeah, I would watch it.
They didn't shithouse it within 30 days of it fully being released like they did the Acolyte.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign.
Yeah.
Well, is it a good sign or is it a sign that it's just not god awfully shit?
Well,
one or the other. It's one or the other.
One of the two.
It did follow the Acolyte as like the most recent Star Wars project. So I guess like comparatively speaking, yeah.
I bet the producers of Skeleton Crew after the Flopperlight, they were probably like, oh, thank fuck, we are definitely not going to get like directly in the firing range from the execs because the only way is up from here.
Yeah. Well, that or they're sitting there worried that they're going to have the Han Solo effect where, what was it, the Force Awakens or whatever was like such shit and everything, and like people just sort of brigaded the Han Solo movie and just like shat on it and didn't go see it and everything. It just got like horrible stuff in theaters.
It was Last Jedi.
Whichever one it was, I don't remember.
Episode 8 released right before the episode 8 released in December,
one it was,
and then Solo released in the spring.
And
I will take your word for it.
And then like Infinity War hit the cinema about the same time, which is just a terrible time to try and compare.
That too, yeah.
Like that. Who thought that was a good idea? Like,
well, yeah.
And that was back when Marvel was
dominating.
Like, like Marvel films, you could just churn them out and they would make shitloads of money. And Infinity War was like part one of the culmination of 10 years of filming, and it was like, it was obviously going to be huge. And they're like, let's release Solo like 3 weeks before Infinity War. That'll do well. And it's like, no, my friend. No, my friend. It did not do so well, which is a shame because I enjoyed the film.
Listen, so they could have had like the worry about the Solo effect, or they could have been like, yes, the Acolyte was such shit, we can't do worse. Could go either way.
Well, it's kind of like the equivalent of like washing your eyes out with soap. You know, maybe that's what the Skeleton Crew was doing. It's like, I watched the Acolyte. Let's have a little bit of a reset in terms of Star Wars media. Turn my fan on quick. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I didn't fuck up my microphone by doing that.
No, you're good.
What surprised me actually about Jod, or Captain Silvo, is that they gave him the damn unaligned force user tag. Now, it doesn't surprise me that he has that tag. It just surprises me that this version of the character has that tag. Oh, I've lost you guys. Let me get you guys back up. Doo-doo. There we go. Gotcha.
Pop the blue pill.
Pop the blue pill. Got to get you guys up. Get ready for it. Yeah, I was actually super surprised. Why do you guys keep disappearing on me? There we go. I was super surprised they gave him the unaligned force user tag. I don't think they've given him any synergy with unaligned force users, particularly.
I mean, you could put him on a team, obviously, and he would just sort of benefit because he is an UFU. But yeah, I don't think they gave him any like specific call-outs to online force users and everything. I mean, technically he was, so...
Yeah.
A lot of what he is like it's specifically pirate allies, or there's conditions if Hondo is in the leader slot.
Wow.
Yeah.
But nothing.
I remember seeing. Yeah.
Sorry. Sop, he's not going to be a Ray lifter. He's dark side, and dark side immediately is just nope when it comes to Ray.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Especially with Ben being in the game now, and Ben is like, you must have all light side allies.
It's true. Which, I mean, that was at least a nice thing they did do to Ray to curtail her a little bit. I think she needs another barrier.
Because either CG has to run circles around making sure that every new light side character they put to the game does not inadvertently work with Ray, or they have to make Ray's bonuses incredibly specific.
Well, what they need to do is they need to go back to Ezra and go back to, if the leader is not Spectre, like you lose half these bonuses. He's just too good. He is
way too good. He is way too good.
To the detriment of Glat.
I mean, yeah, Glat just feels terrible. Let's be honest. Glat feels terrible because of how good Ezra is elsewhere.
Yeah,
and it's just damn painful, man.
Well, that was I had been asked for feedback on the GLs a couple months back, and that was one of the things. And then they were pressing me back on, why do you feel that way about, why do you rank her so low? And I'm like, well, it's pretty simple. It's like Ezra's just better about anywhere else than her. Like statistically, if you're looking at things from a competitive level in PvP, if you want better defensive odds with Ezra, it's on another team.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, what do you want me to do about this? Like, you guys kind of wrote that down yourself.
Yeah, Rebel, don't download BlueStacks, mate. Just get the PC app. It'll 1, run better, and 2, be easier to run.
Yeah. BlueStacks has some serious stutter issues going right now.
Oh my god. Well, it is free. It's completely free.
The game does in general, but BlueStacks stutters.
BlueStacks, like, it doesn't matter how powerful your PC is.
Yeah,
BlueStacks just does a really bad job of emulating a lot of games, effectively. It's just I remember when I first booted up the PC app, even just on the Cantina scrolling left and right, I was like, oh, that's so smooth. It's so smooth. It's like I'm gliding on butter. I'm greased up. It was beautiful, and I've occasionally booted up BlueStacks when I couldn't be asked to log out and log into my alt. I'd be like, well, I know my alt account's still on BlueStacks. You open it up and you're like, my eyes! What the hell is BlueStacks doing? It's running in like what's lower than 720p, 360p. I can see the pixels. I can count them on the screen, and then the game crashes. So you're like, okay, cool.
I haven't had a game crash on BlueStacks in a long time, but the but definitely the store starter is getting a little annoying.
Yeah. Oh my god, the store starter! I have accidentally bought things with crystals once or twice, and it's getting
so annoying. Isn't
it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, they need to fix that shit.
Yeah, that's and it's like I'm trying to buy things. Like, come on. Like that should be the thing they're the best at, making like the buying nice and easy, and it should work. Come on. That's what you guys care about the most. Just bring to Steam already? Oh man. Yeah, you would think. But you'd be wrong.
They're not gonna promote outside of their own app store, are they?
Yeah, no. They all got their own apps and their own game services now at this point. So they're all.
Whole reason they brought it to the app was to save money from Google and Apple. So, or at least that's my speculation.
You know what's really funny is
about 2 weeks.
About 2 weeks ago, I bought Battlefield 2042 because they've got some cosmetic stuff for Battlefield 6. And the game was like £2. I was like, wow, that's really fucking cheap. Why not? So I bought that through Steam for £2, installed it. When you boot it up, do you know how when you boot up the Swigger client, it locks you out of running any other apps on the EA app? Even if you boot up that game through Steam, it locks you out of running any apps on the EA app. Because it's an EA game. They're like, actually, you're running it through our app, so you have to get it on our app anyway. It's really bloody weird.
What the hell?
Like, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
A lot of apps do that too, because it's like I used to play the Division quite a bit. You have, even though you buy it on Steam and use their thing, you still have to have a Ubisoft account running in the background to play the game. Otherwise, it goes no. You must pass all your data to us. We are the custodians of your data. Not that we'll sell it on to anybody or do anything with it, right? We won't do any targeted advertisement. Speaking of Ubisoft, I'm a little disappointed that they decided to shithouse Outlaws for a sequel.
They're not releasing an Outlaws 2, is that what you're saying?
No, they've said that they're not going to do a sequel of the game.
They're like, yeah, we're not going to try harder. That's a shame, because it had potential. The execution wasn't fantastic for the game, but it wasn't terrible. Like, the story was pretty decent. It was enjoyable enough, but it was like a 6, maybe a 7 out of 10 at the best.
Well, I think they do what a lot of AAA games are guilty of, is they overpromise and underdeliver, and it's just like they really should have just been like, nah, guys, it's Assassin's Creed minus the assassinations, Star Wars.
Yeah, and people would have been like, oh, okay.
You got a little bit more buy-in. There was so much that they had said that they were going to do. It was supposed to be seamless, ground space flight and all this other stuff, and then it ended up you did loading screens that were
hidden as animations, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's just like they overpromised, and then they got torn to shreds on all the details, and they didn't. It was okay. Like, it was fine.
Okay.
They just did some narrative things that were kind of dumb, and then just some mechanics that were just like, you guys really should have just took the extra 4 months and made this work before you put it out in the world and let it get eaten.
Yeah, but as we've seen in many Star Wars productions, is they in particular when it comes to games, it just doesn't land quite right, and then they give up, which is a shame, because more Star Wars games would make me a more happy individual.
Yeah. Well, I think they just get way too, like, they want to make massive Star Wars titles that, are supposed to be just earth-shatteringly new and different. So there's a lot of expectations on the returns. But it's like, growing up in the 90s, man, it's like, I would take like $30 titles and like little indie studios and let them just go bananas with it. Just give me a dumb Star Wars story. I don't care what it is. I take a gun, I'm in Star Wars, and I do objective. Cool, that's it. Like, look at the Jedi Academy series or the Jedi Outcast series.
Yeah, they were great.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
They're not world-shattering, mechanics, but they had a decent enough narrative, and it was Star Wars.
The lightsaber combat paved the way for lightsaber combat in games. Like when Jedi Outcast first came out, like that was that literally set the fucking tone for this is how lightsabers should be in a computer game. It was great fun. And yeah, it felt kind of like a cheesy 80s action flick, but that's okay. We like cheesy 80s action flick. Well, I do. Maybe I'm the target audience, who knows?
Make it fun. It doesn't have to be like the most like the craziest, most mind-shattering thing. You know, like I always love to go back to KOTOR. It has like one of the greatest storylines, like great twists and all that sort of fun stuff. But you can also just play another fucking game, like we were just saying, all the Jedi Outcast games and whatnot. Still have good stories, still have great narratives and everything, but they're not like the most earth-shattering, mind-blowing stuff. Just give me a fun action. Let me swing a lightsaber around, do some fun shit. A little bit of Force Unleashed action, throw some things around and zap things with lightning, and you know what? I'll be fucking happy.
Why not?
There we go. However, I also do still want a Star Wars Baldur's Gate. So, anyways, moving on.
That would be sick. I'd be happy with that.
We can just sneak that in, Larry, in studios while you're on this little hiatus.
When you get a minute.
Yeah. If you don't mind.
Pretty please, with a cherry on top. With a cherry on top.
Oh, yeah.
That would be good.
Palpatine's gate.
I know I've brought it up a couple of times, but I haven't. I can't remember when the release date for Zero Company is supposed to be. Is it next year? Year after?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Oh, let me check. I believe I have it pinned somewhere in my.
I think it was supposed to be next year, but I don't remember.
Yeah, and that makes me sad because that's like not
like
this year.
Spring?
That's like next year.
It just says coming 2026. I don't think we have a firm date on that yet.
Son of a bitch.
But even that too, though, like that's the part that kind of like gets me a little annoyed with the game studios is like there's so much pressure on like putting out these massive AAA games, and I'm like, I would just take smaller titles and go, do the I'm trying to think through all the ones I have on my I don't know if you guys remember on the N64 playing Star Wars Pod Racer.
Oh my god,
I
yes.
never had an N64.
I also had that on a computer. But yes, Star Wars Pod Racer was fucking awesome.
But there's a ton of dumb little games like that where it's like they just took Star Wars and put it in the genre as like, hey, here's a racing game, but Star Wars. We have a way to do that with Pod Racers, but it's essentially just a Star Wars racing game.
Oh, it was great.
They just have a bunch of those little fun things to do, and it's like it's so disappointing to be like everyone's looking for these massive AAA things. I'm like, I don't know if that's what we're looking for. Like, you had Star Wars Bounty Hunter, which was fun. You had Star Wars Republic Commando. You've had Knights of the Republic. You had Force Unleashed. You had a lot of good stuff back in the day that people could be a part of, and it's just very unfortunate that all they want to do.
And the space combat games too. Don't forget all the space combat.
games.
Fucking
the
X-Wing and Rogue Squadron. All that shit.
Rogue Squadron. Yeah, I love Rogue Squadron. Played the shit out of that as a kid.
Yeah.
Nothing better than playing with a Jedi Starfighter in the middle of a Hoth battle. I love that they gave the Jedi Starfighter the concussion mines from Slave 1 in Episode 2. And so you just fly around in Obi-Wan's little Starfighter and just...
Still, one of, I say, top 5 sound effects in all of Star Wars.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a great sound.
That and the TIE Fighter are probably some of the most iconic noises ever to be produced from that genre.
The one that sounds a little bit like a screaming velociraptor.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
it's like you hear that, and you know what it is. It's the ion engine of the TIE Fighter. It's like you know exactly what that is when you hear it.
Yeah, I feel really bad for the pilots because they must have pretty terrible tinnitus. And as a long-standing chronic tinnitus sufferer, I feel they pain.
That's why those helmets are so big. It's because it's all the noise suppression.
It's like, seriously, dude, I'm doing you a favor.
Yeah. There's 8 inches of padding here just to cut out all the noise from outside of. Because I mean, you gotta hear a lot of that from inside that cockpit. It's so small.
Yeah, it's no good. It's no good.
I'm just gonna go out on a limb there and say that they probably weren't all that concerned about the hearing loss of their pilots if they couldn't even bother giving them fucking shields for their ships.
Shields? You don't need shields.
Well, I mean, in theory, the tactic with the TIE Fighter was supposed to be overwhelming odds, and so shields were supposed to be the concern, but clearly they were a big enough issue. It's just it's the downside of what we call movie plot point armor, where it just goes back and forth, where the enemy is unkillable, and then all of a sudden you take out like 30 TIE fighters in 10 seconds, and it's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, That sounds like The Force Awakens, and Poe Dameron's just like, yay, kill like 17 of you.
I'm gonna 1v1 this capital ship, BRB. Oh wait, sorry, that was Kylo. My bad.
I mean, yeah, yeah, you gotta love the enthusiasm.
He does do it though. Kylo does 1v1 the capital ship that his mother's on, and she becomes Space Mary Poppins for a little bit.
She does, and then the collective audience tried to
movie,
suppress that memory.
That whole movie was awful. Like from start to finish, that whole movie just was like, what 5-year-old had creative directive on this movie? Because I feel like it was like, this would look really cool, and then it was the adults' jobs to make these little plot points happen. And so, anyways, I can spend all day ragging on that film.
Fair. I mean, on this Galaxy of Heroes podcast, that's what we're here to do, right? It's talk Star about Wars anything but the game. So, how excited are you guys for GL Hondo? Pirate King Hondo O'Knackered.
I would say like I'm a 5 out of 10. Like
halfway there, buddy. You're living on a prayer.
I'm interested to see what it does and how it plays, but at the same time, it's just like all we've done for the last 3 eras is just dump GLs out, and then not GLs, but marquees out that have to be relicked. And it's just like all the basically spending has been the interest in the game for the last, at least for me in the last like 9 months. And so it's like, I'm hoping that we kind of don't have anything too crazy come out afterwards. But at the same time, it's like you kind of know that the next era might be a little break, and then we're gearing back up for getting ready for the next raid again. And so it's just like this kind of constant cycle of just dumping content out to kind of make the era process work. It's just like, I don't know if I give a care. There's just no, I guess the biggest reason why there's no real excitement for Hondo is because PvP is such a cluster right now that it's just like, what's really one more GL when I have 9 already? So now I've got 10. So I'm one GL away from being able to set a full GL defense in in 5s, and it's just like, I don't really care, because there's going to be 3 or more conquest units out by the next GL, and they'll all be able to counter everything all over again. And so it's just like,
I actually had this discussion the other day, not to derail too heavily, but we were talking about how powerful Bane is, and I was like, guys, please don't release any more Bane level characters that are not GLs. We don't need any more short man teams that kill GLs, okay? We got enough. We got enough. GLs are supposed to be the big, they're supposed to be the best characters in the game. They should be hard to beat. Not, let me get my Bane plus Sith Assassin to take you out. Do you know what I mean?
To be fair, the Kron did a lot of heavy lifting at the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
There are a couple now that he can kind of go in 3s and sometimes in 5s, depending on what the Kron situation is, where he can kind of go back to doing that. But yeah, I don't really want that to be a thing again. Like, I don't really want short mans to be the answer, because then it just makes the whole GAC board like, it's like it's what happened like 2 years ago, right? When everyone started making their board Wampa proof because no one wanted to hand away those 4 extra banners for free. And so it's like, and then when the Sidious Kron came out, it was the same thing. People would either try to trick you into using Sidious somewhere with a Kron that would counter it, or they just don't leave a team that Sidious can beat. And so it's like, you have the Sidious Kron, congrats. You can't use it because everyone just made a board that it couldn't work on. And so it's one of those things where like the undermans they just become caged off really quickly and easy to kind of control. And so I really, 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 really hope that the next era is a fleet. Pirates would be great because I'm already invested in them heavily, so I could be lazy. But
same. I've invested pretty heavy.
But at the same time, I would like there to be some massive release and that changes PvP to be more engaging, because it's like at this junction, I'm like floating on fumes on PvP. I just don't care anymore. It's like, what's the point of being competitive? I don't care. There's no like, it's just a little extra crystal income. It's like, I could do anything else with my time.
I mean, that's kind of where I'm at as well. You know, as excited as I am for Hondo coming out. You know, GL Hondo finally being a thing. At this point, the game has gotten to a point where, like you said, like what's really the point of like being competitive and everything? It's sort of lost a lot of its sheen with the whole GAC and TW not having any reworks, not having any real updates in a long while. So it's like I want to be more excited than I actually am right now, and it's it's not amazing, not great, unfortunately.
Hi, Meathead. Bye, Meathead.
Hi, Meathead. Bye, Meathead. So yeah, I would love if there was some more stuff going on. You know, I'm like barely doing conquest at this point, just because like I don't really need datacrons if you're not going crazy. So yeah, I don't know.
I'm definitely
trying to do other things, you know.
Except actually on my alt account, I'm actively playing Conquest because it's 2 million GP and I can't just finish it in a day and sim.
Right. That's always the best
I'm actually
part.
dependent on stamina because I've got like 2.5 teams that can actually do anything on normal Conquest. I'm like, well,
stamina.
Yeah. Padawan Obi-Wan, carry me harder with that Omicron, buddy.
I'll have to. I'll have to ask Night Fox how the sortie Omicron is, if it's doing anything.
Such a terrible Omicron.
Hey, I am literally to the point now where my only 2 Omicrons I don't have equipped are the Galactic Challenge Conquest for Gungans and the Raid Army for Scout Trooper. I have everything else equipped.
Hey man, when the next raid comes out and Scout Trooper at Relic 9 is really good with that Omicron, maybe you'll drop it then.
If they do Imperial Remnant as a raid team again, I would laugh maniacally.
Yeah.
Because that would be...
I mean, it's weird because we just straight up didn't get a raid army this time around.
No, so. But there's literally no reason to. Like with the mechanics of this new one, there's no reason to have a raid army besides just like you manipulate another mechanic again, right? And it's like...
Well, I mean, it could be something like every time this character takes a turn, add 1 stack of Execute to Lord Vader or something like that. So it just makes it easier.
But it's already really easy. I mean, to be honest, if you're running a full 5, half the time, it's just like, well, don't cause a bunch of counterattacks and then we win.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Quiggle, you jerk.
Seriously, fucking all AoEs. What the hell is that shit?
And it wasn't so bad when his AoE that puts blind out was bugged, but when they removed that, it was like, oh god, Quiggled is just actively trying to ruin this raid for you. Really?
Yes, yes, he's just trying to get himself killed.
You can still do it. You can still do it, but it's a pain. It's a pain in the bum. Silly little Quigsy. Well, there we go.
There's so much with the pirates that I'm just like, I really hope when Hondo or Maz gets added, well, I hope with Hondo when he comes to the game, they add Maz's a bonus to Maz as well, because it's just like, there is so much where I'm just like, what do they even do? Like, I am not going to spend a ton of time remodding this team to be perfect in the raid. It was like, if you can just get me done with Hondo lead, then I'm set. But like,
they should totally make Hondo solo the raid. Like,
I mean,
just give him a bonkers level 9 bonus in the raid, and just be like, yeah, you got R9 Hondo, solo's possible. Go.
Hondo captures Lord Vader.
No, he just captures the Jedi in the back. Cooldown.
Oh my god.
So he captures the Jedi and he just rescues them straight away, and then he leaves.
He ransoms the Jedi back to the Republic, or the Jedi Order.
Back to Lord Vader. I will give you this in exchange for raid points.
Yeah,
perfect.
I'll take all three Jedi,
that's
and I'll
just good business
for 3.6 million. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Oh, dude, yeah. I don't know what I want to do with that. Like, I don't. It's like, it's the part that sucks about everything coming out so far behind the raid is because it's like, most people are going to give a care to invest into the pirates for the raid, and even though you're putting out 2 new raid teams that are from the pirate team, it's just absolutely like useless additional things for us to work with, because like most people are dealing with the split on the clones and
I feel like anybody that is getting GL Hondo doesn't need GL Hondo for the raid. Do you know what I mean? So, they've already got their shit.
I'll give you a side note to that. I was reading a conversation between Solo Base and a couple of my guild mates, and he said that the stats for right as it sits right now is that only like 27% of the 7-star veins in the game are in the top 100 guilds. Okay. So that means you've got 73% of the veins are outside of that. Like, so it seems like that this GL is going to be like the biggest, like outside the normal unlock. It's going to have a large unlock portion outside of the bigger accounts. So you're going to see a lot of smaller GP guild accounts having GL Hondo as their first GL.
That's such a weird thing.
Which is such a weird thing, because I'm just like, how are they getting all the R9s for that?
Is it that we are getting more casuals wailing for GL Hondo, or is it just that the late game players simply do not give a fuck and just can't be asked to unlock him?
Well, I think it's the other thing I would add to that, because I think that's probably a part of the case, is people just aren't caring to unlock him right away. There's not a big push to do it day one. But I think also that with the cheapened price of marquees, I think more people are just passively engaging in that, and so they want to GL Hondo, and so they're engaging into the pirates.
Also, a lot of the high level relics for this GL are actually pretty nice. I'll be honest. Like, you know, getting yourself R9 Hondo isn't that nice. Sorry, Wolfie, but R9 gas is that's quite a nice R9 to have.
R9
you know what I'm saying?
GK too. I thought that was kind of a fun.
Yeah, GK was nice.
I thought that was so funny.
I was so surprised. I already had R9 GK. I was like, oh, that's an R9 that I don't even have to do. Yeah, R8 Bosk as well. That's nice. Like, some good stuff.
That one was fine. I mean, Relic 8 Dooku was a giveaway. Cheer at Relic 5, that was also kind of a giveaway. You probably already have him, or have been working on him, or have him 7 stars or something. But most of these weren't all that bad.
I'm pretty sure we had R5 Chirrut in a recent LSB as well. Not so long ago, a couple of months back, I think.
Potentially.
Might have been R3.
Something like that.
I don't know if he's in the one for unlocking Thrawn and Emperor Palpatine, though. I don't think he's a part of that.
Stop us saying there was a Rogue One.
Yeah, Rogue One.
Oh yeah. There was one. The best part for me though is that the ship they used was Rey's Millennium Falcon, and it's just like, oh, okay,
just reasons. Yeah,
reasons. Yeah, we chose this one. Like, okay,
easy enough. Cool. Thanks.
Wow.
Cheers.
Yeah. So I mean, that's still interesting to know that. Like, I'd be curious to know in other GLs what was normally the percentage of unlocks that were in the top 100 guilds. Did Solo Base talk about that?
No, not at that. Well, at least I didn't scroll back through conversation to find it.
It'd be interesting to know for like a barometer.
Yeah,
it was just interesting to see that there was so much outside of the top 100 with a 7-star vein.
Yeah,
and that was really kind of all I was looking at, because the top 100 guilds, that's 5. No, it's 500 players, right? Yeah, that math makes sense.
100 guilds, 50 players, 5,000.
5,000. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. No, I'm too tired. But
it's okay. Yeah. I need a drink anyway. I'm gonna go grab a drink. I'll be back in a second. I need libations.
Do it up, yo.
Unattended.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like I don't really I don't have any negative feelings of the character. I do like that they're doing some stuff with Hondo to make the investment worthwhile to a degree, between the era battle, and then they're supposed to add a Smuggler's Run 3, and we don't know what the rewards for that are yet. And so, I mean, I'm okay with unlocking him and having some sort of payback, but like the interest to go after him is just like,
yeah,
I'm doing it because there is literally nothing else for me to do in the game, not because I'm like, I so desperately want Hondo.
Yeah,
but I am hopeful that they do a pirate fleet after this, just because I'm already rolling 9 across the board. Let's just keep sending this. I'll be okay with it. Yeah, reward me more for this.
We've talked about that a couple of times about like them bringing some pirate ships and what the fleet would be, what the capital ship would be. It's definitely a possibility. I could see it coming. I could see some of those guys coming. But then of course the conversation always goes to the Fondor and all of them, and as it were.
Yeah.
But, it's definitely a possibility, but I was just saying, finishing off the lessening incitement over Hondo, and then saying, potentially pirate ships for next round. But we've brought that up a couple of times, so it's a possibility. We'll have to see what they end up doing. They should announce that soon, right? What the next era is going to be.
Mm-hmm. I imagine we'll get it with Hondo's kit. I would guess. I would guess we would get like road ahead. Here's Hondo's kit. By the way, the next era is going to be The Force Awakens, and we're going to get Snoke or something like that.
Please no. Please.
I mean,
it is a 10-year anniversary. I get that. That's fine. But I'm hopeful for can we do a little reprieve from just dumping marquees on me?
Cuthrick, no, you get that at Christmas time. You get a month off over Christmas.
But this is the end of Christmas.
Yeah, it'll be the end of Christmas.
Yeah, so shouldn't we have it be like Glatz, where it was like, well, it's 2 episodes, and then we just screw off for a month.
Yeah, but it'll end in an epic confrontation for Snoke.
And what is Snoke going to do? Is that going to be a first order?
No, he'll be a sea lifter, clearly.
And
then Bane will take
an actual sea lifter. He'll be locked to sea.
Get punishing ones for the First Order and the Resistance fleets.
Can it just be the Resistance fleet? Yeah, and they could just call it the Punishing One. It could be piloted by Dengar, and you just swap the tags.
Yeah, just give the ship the mercenary tag, and then to be. The kit just goes, okay, but if also all this the kit applies, whatever the leadership's tag is. So whatever capital ship tag is, then all the kit applies to those units. Well,
yeah, why not? Perfect. Makes sense to me. What could possibly go wrong?
So many things.
So yeah, we desperately do need more fleet content, because 2 years of Leviathan is 2 years too many. Well, no, it's like 1 year too much. I definitely want us to see us move on to something new and different and sexy. But
just new and different.
Yeah, I mean, it could be ugly. It could be ugly. It could be ugly as sin.
I'm just so I'm burnt out on the Leviathan being what it is. I'm a little annoyed where the Punishing One kind of massively screwed up the meta, which it wasn't a bad thing. I don't
it was a terrible thing, yeah.
But it's just but then to leave everything just after the fact, just well, we put a little tactical nuke in the middle of, and then it created a lot of chaos and havoc, and we're just and the only thing we patched after that was making other things not work against the fleets anymore.
Yeah,
it's exactly.
and then buff the TIE dagger again.
Yeah, and then we buff the TIE dagger. So it's can we get something for the Rebels or Resistance or First Order or a new capital ship or anything? I do feel
the Resistance needs a bit of an uplift. Actually, many of the fleets do. Truth be told, that you could take any number of fleets that need a bit of an uplift.
I mean, you take the bottom 3 essentially. I think the Malevolence fleet could use a little bit of a boost. Yep. The First Order of the Resistance could all use a bit of a boost. The Galactic Republic it's in a good enough spot. It's just fine. They buffed the crap out of what it used to take out, so it's like it's hard to say that it's performing poorly. But it's just like I kind of wish that they like you just have so much where it's like those old fleets just do nothing besides ride the bench or clean up because you have to use that 70% counter every once in a while when you're rolling deep on defensive fleets or whatever you end up doing.
Yeah. I mean, something needs to change. That's for sure. And I'm sure CG are thinking about fleet. You know,
I hope they are.
I'm sure they're thinking about TW.
Well, I don't know. I feel like they're mostly thinking about how great they're doing with the new rollout and all the new characters and all the new whales they've gotten. And look, we've got all these new spenders and all these new engagement and everything. I think they're probably patting themselves on the back right now.
We definitely need.
If I had to guess,
let's be real. We need something to shake up the game. If we could get Road Ahead and they're like, by the way, we're getting new kind of PvP, guild PvP game mode where it's different and really engaging and has really good rewards where you can get something new, cool and interesting. Give me new stuff, please, CG. Now is the time. We've had a long time with this era content now. Era content is fine. It's embedded. Yeah. Roll with it. Let's get the new shit in. Let's get the new hotness in and just get us excited about stuff.
Let's fix some back-end stuff. Let's fix PvP. Let's make it interesting. Let's make let's make a reason to be good at it. Like that's the part that I think is kind of dumb right now is like there's no reason to be really like fantastic at it besides like maybe giving a care about TW. But I mean, if you care personally about TW rewards, you just drop down to a guild that doesn't have to worry about being in the gauntlet, and then you just join up with 40 people every time. And
I'll be honest with you, Garth. Like even the gauntlet at this point, it's kind of like it's a joke. Most of your battles are still just an insta win.
Yeah,
you'll get the occasional actual proper gauntlet match, but those are quite rare still. So it's just a weird place. It's just a weird place right now, I think. And I know we've got a very, very concentrated mindset in this chat because we're all endgame players. So it doesn't quite translate to a lot of our listeners at home who might be like, I've got 5.5 million GP. And, these guys are not the ones that are dominating the raid and scoring 12 million plus points in the raid and, operating in Kyber 2 at the very minimum. So there are some incentives and some reasons to grow and get better in GAC, but I think like that ceiling does still need to be addressed because that's where I imagine, I don't have the numbers, but I imagine that's where most of CG's profit comes is from the bigger accounts that are buying every marquee and are operating in the end game guilds and stuff like that, So yeah.
Well, I think a lot of the goal with this thing was just to spread out the people who are actually spending a little bit, make the characters more accessible to create more lighter spenders as opposed to just having everything concentrated in a few big people. If they lose one big account, that's a big hit to their bottom line. But if they have a lot of smaller accounts, that's not quite as quite as drastic for them. So, like I said, I think that they're patting themselves in the back for this year so far. I don't unless Meathead is actually listening and is passing on the messages, and I fucking hope that he is. I'm not sure they're doing much of anything different. No, I would love to be wrong. I really hope that I'm wrong, but
I guess we'll have to wait and see, won't we?
It
feels like it's been a minute since we've had a Road Ahead.
Well, the last one was literally a year ago with the era update for.
It would have been for Glatz, right? Yeah. When we got like Great Mothers and Death Trooper, Peridia, Night Trooper, and all that nonsense.
It was after them. It was after them.
Was it? Oh, okay.
She started the first era.
Right.
So it was after Balin's event had released.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was basically awesome. We got a sizable road ahead. Besides just like, hey, this is what the era does. Which is, that's still better than nothing. But I feel like a lot of people don't really pay attention to that because it's pretty directionally focused as to what each era does pretty quick. And so it's just like, all right, you're building towards this, and then we just ignore the rest of it.
Yeah. Well, I'm hoping, like I said earlier, I'm hoping it's like that era system is now embedded. We know what the expectation is. We've got it. Let's change gears now and introduce something new for the players. Because you can't... marquees and legendaries is not content. It's just characters. We need something actively to do with these characters that's new and interesting and keeps people entertained, right? So be that, I mean, it can't just be new progression modes either.
Right.
But, you know, new ways to interact with the game would be good. That's what I would like to see.
You know, something.
And Relic 69.
That too, of course. Should go without saying.
Though, just a quick sidestep onto everything real quick. For those who are listening, if you have questions and would like us to answer them, you should go to Scribe's Discord and post them in the Tribe Talks question area, because honestly, if you put them in the chat, we're going to scroll past them. Inadvertently. We don't
sometimes they're deliberate, sometimes we just don't like you very much. But
yeah, it goes both ways. But yeah, if you would like your questions to be answered, that would be the better place to do that. We do, towards the end of the show, we'll do a little Q&A session with each question and kind of go through and answer. I just seen quite a few pop up on YouTube chat that aren't quite tangentially related to talking about, so I don't feed them in as much. So we'll try where we can, but typically Discord, if you want an answer to the question, typically Discord's the better way of going.
That way we can always refer to it later, and we're not trying to scroll back through chat.
But
yeah,
we'll do what we can otherwise.
Exactly. So yeah, I would really like to have a road ahead. A road ahead would make me a very happy person. I know somebody in the chat at some point did say, what do you think about Gerbil's recent video? I've not watched it yet, so I can't really comment on it. I think he's talking about the next era being a pirate fleet.
Which we've talked about before.
Yeah, I think we talked about it last Friday.
I haven't seen the video, though.
No, neither have I. But you know, what we talked about last week was it could happen. Of course it could. But probably not. Well, I would say probably not, just because I feel like they're going to do something for the Force Awakens. Whenever we get an anniversary, they tend to do something about it. So
yeah, but I mean, it doesn't have to be the focus of the entire thing. But it could be. They could lift the Resistance fleet. They could lift the First Order fleet with something. They could do still something fleet related, because I mean that was the whole argument, putting Maz and then Thano and Quiggle and Kix in the game, was to be, hey, you know,
excuse me, sorry,
Force Awakens adjacent content kind of thing. And so I could see something interesting coming from that. I just don't know where else they're going to dig from on the content. They kind of have everything from that movie kind of already in the game. So I mean,
we could get the First Order traitor guy with his boomstick. I would like to see that, and we could get, like, I mean, if we got Praetorian Guards, they don't really feature in The Force Awakens. That's more Last Jedi, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although, side note, I would like to see Praetorian Guards this sick.
Yeah, I just don't know what they do with them. Like, I'm kind of stuck on if they ever do circle back to a GL Thrawn.
Yeah.
That they're going to have to basically do what they did with the pirates, which is they're going to create a conquest, the Imperial remnants in like GAC, and then they'll create GL Thrawn's team, and they'll just call it something like, it'll be, you know, a new subclass of Imperial remnant that he specifically works with.
Yeah, it'll be the Heir to the Empire faction.
Yeah, pretty much. They'll have the Heir to the Empire tag, and then they'll be Imperial remnants with that tag.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know what they do next in the next era that is interesting or engaging, but like I'm hoping it's fleet related, just for the sake I'm tired of the Leviathan meta. But
same.
you could tell me it's the Fondor, and I would be, as long as it counters the freaking Leviathan, I don't care.
Oh yeah. I genuinely don't care what the fleet is.
Yeah.
As long as it is the new meta fleet.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come in with the same level of fuckery that the Leviathan came in with. Because we had like 3-4 months of Leviathan shithousery when that thing released.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go through that again. But I'll put up with it if it means we're getting a new fleet.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Just accept it.
Just submit yourself to the fate. As soon as it happens, and everything will be bad, and nothing will be good, and it will be terrible. So, yeah. Yeah, it's good times. It's good times. I will watch that video. I'll probably end up doing a reaction to it, because it was kind of funny a week or so ago when like 15 content creators all reacted to each other, reacting to a reaction of a reaction. That was kind of fun. I enjoyed that. That gave me some giggles. Maybe we can kickstart another React to the React on Gerbil's video. Plus, I'm going to be away for most of next week, so I need to prep some videos for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Oh, yeah, so I won't be on for GAC on Wednesday, which is a big sad because we are going back into 5v5, which is, as we know, is the gentleman's GAC. It is the distinguished gentleman's GAC.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah,
we're coping pretty hard, guys.
Listen, I still enjoy GAC. It's okay.
I enjoy it. It's just for me. It's like there's so much where it's just like the previous set had lots of teeth on it with the Hodocron and the Raycron and massive walls of defense and everything else. And the new set has its moments, but it's really not doing anything interesting per se, except for the Rolocron. And it's just like,
the good old Rolocron.
I don't know. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, there's just like, they come out with stuff. It's just like, oh, cool. Let's see how the clones perform with Lord Vader with not using what's its nuts Kron. And then it's just like Rolo's like, yeah, but level 3, me over here just takes your Vader and tells me to shove it.
Whole shit out. All by lonesome.
Yeah, you can take any team that does lots of attacks at a turn, and it's gonna just be a absolute cluster. Like CLS takes out so many things now, and it's just one of those things where it's like, huh?
He does, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just like I'm just not interested in it because there's just it's like I can't really make a board that's fun to play against because it's just like there's so many options now where it's just like I can go balls deep on defense, and unless my opponent does the same, it's not that hard to clear a board for where I'm at least. And so it's like
what you have to do, Karth, is you just have to have like 15 shots, and then it does get a little bit difficult to win.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
There you go.
Yeah.
But then at that junction, I'm not caring about winning anymore. Just go swipe that credit card for those $10 worth of crystals.
You're like, I might have lost the GAC, but now I have a vault, so I don't
exactly.
Let's either we win
the GAC or I buy a vault. Those are the stakes I'm working with.
Yeah, that's the forfeit. If you lose the match, you have to buy a vault. It's like, damn.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Anything but that. Anything but that.
Rats.
So, yeah, I don't know. I'm hoping they come up with something specifically with the road ahead that gives me something to look forward to because, you know, the last year I was excited with all the changes, the episode pass, the era format. It's a good changing point for the game that makes things more stable, more reliable, and more engaging for the overall players. But if all the content be going forward is basically going to be legendaries and marquees, and you know that's going to be time to start just like, well, who wants a 16 million GP account? Because I've got no other real reason to keep playing if that's all we're going to be doing. You know, I like the game, I'm fairly good at it, but if there's nothing that rewards competitive gameplay,
if it's just rinse and repeat after a while, or like you said, there's no way to actually be competitive. So
or there's no reason to be competitive either, right? Like it's like Carl says, it's to a degree. Does it really matter if he wins or loses GAC? Like I said, you can just buy a vault, and that will cover you for the entire championship of wins or losses
for the entire season. Yeah. It's if you spend it all in the game, being competitive is just bragging rights. And then even at that junction, if you're in a top 100 guild for the most part, and you're not just doing what I do, which is willy-nilly invest bullshit because you can, it's not hard to stay on top of and competitive with everything else in the game once you reach a certain level. The only big thing that I have over other accounts is going to be the fact that I invest in some reroll mats with every Datacron set. Mm-hmm. And that's about the big change between what I do right now in this game and what people who don't spend a ton do in this game. And it doesn't really change a lot because you can still be competitive with less ideal Datacrons. Like if you have the right, level 3, 6, and 9 and maybe a couple of the primary stats, you can be just as good. Mm-hmm. That's it. It's just like, okay, cool. Well, then I'm not going to try that hard.
You're not going to be try hard, Garth. Yeah. Yeah.
Not with vacation.
I get it. I mean, they can have they can get their collective noggins together and think about how do we make this more engaging, or how do we introduce new gameplays that encourage competitive play, or they can make it fun enough that you want to do it. Right? Like you want to be in a competitive TW guild, or you want to try and get to the top of Kaiba 1 because you enjoy the process, and that's quite hard to do. So, yeah.
Well, it's even harder because the game mode's been out for how fucking long at this point? So...
It's been 28 years, Wolfie.
I mean, it was something that they had done at some point. They had created a game mode where it was competitive and people wanted to climb to the top, and that's what they did. And I think it was a very good game mode. And it's not that it's bad. It's just that it's sort of played the fuck out, and we got to do something different. And, advance on a little bit.
The new format of GAC, though, it's like they came out the gate saying you are designed to basically go 5 and 4 and 4 and 5.
Yeah.
That is what they've designed it to essentially do. Mm-hmm. So when everyone's when everyone's sitting there going, well, it's not fair because, these smaller accounts have to face these bigger accounts. And, like the whole reaction video you guys ended up doing, I get that it's not fair, but if you're still winning 5 and 4 and 4 and 5, CG's done their job to their standard. Mm-hmm. So it's
I think it's less that it's not fair and more that the matchmaking only works at the upper end where the rosters are more homogenous. Otherwise, it's just the wild fucking west.
The thing is, though,
the factor of how their game is. So.
Oh yeah. Well, you can't say matchmaking. There really isn't a matchmaking system for GAC.
It's a ladder system. That's all it is. So,
well, yeah. I mean, you can technically call it a matchmaking, which is done based on the ladder, and your score rating goes up and down, but it's not like an active. It's just a very limited sort of system. Like you said, it's just a ladder system.
And that's why I've always told people it's like the worst thing you can do in a GAC season is go 3-0. Because you will catapult yourself so far beyond where you're competitive that you can't actively do that. So if you go 3-0 and then you get to the next week, I mean, Scribe, this happens to you about once a season, where you go
on that rare occasion where I win 3. Yeah,
you go 3-0, but then you spend the next week getting the crap beat out of you because you've catapulted so far beyond your competitive player base.
There was a 3v3 season where I went 8-1. Or something like that. Like it was just like ridiculous. And then I went on something like 1-12 or something like that. I just got like absolutely fucking stomped by everyone for ages. And it's demoralizing to the extreme. Just like, fuck.
But they've got ways that they could address it. But I mean, like their metric from the beginning was basically they want 50-50. And so it's like for them, as long as the account over a long enough period of time is averaging 50-50, they don't really see a problem with that. And so it's like, I get that people want to change, but it's like, I don't know what you're going to do besides completely overhaul it all over again.
Yeah.
Then match make every round. I don't know.
somebody had somebody was on. It was on one of the React chain videos, and somebody put in about they mentioned StarCraft 2's laddering system, the matchmaking in that. They call it MMR, matchmaking rating, right? And realistically speaking, MMR is the same as skill rating. It's the same principle. It's just you have a skill rating, you face other people. But if you stop playing, you gain a bonus pool so that when you start playing again, you'll earn more skill rating, essentially, because you've been absent for a certain amount of time. It's supposed to get you back up to where you used to be on a quicker basis. And I was like, I understand where you're coming from, mate, but fundamentally the games are very different.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't have to wail on Hydralisks. So.
Exactly. For one, everybody's got an equal playing field in StarCraft 2, right? It's not like you've got units that other people don't because of money, right? Everybody's operating from a level playing field. You know, obviously you can talk about patches and strength of individual units, or matchups might change very slightly, but everybody's in the same boat. And two, in GAC, the only time we can change our skill rating is when we're in a championship and we have 3 rounds and then it's down to the next week. In StarCraft 2, you could do 50 matches in a day. And that's going to change your skill rating constantly.
Continuously updating,
Continuously updating to place you against other players that are also doing it. You know?
Like how most of those games work.
Exactly. And in StarCraft 2, when you go into when you're in the competitive game mode, because I used to play the crap out of StarCraft 2, loved it. When you queue up to have an online match, the people that you match up against, they're trying to win. Whereas in GAC, the people that are facing these big accounts, it's like matching up to someone in GAC in GAC that doesn't play half the time. You don't get that. You do very rarely when somebody is like a big account that's trying to smurf their way down, so they're deliberately tanking their MMR. Very, very rare, but it can happen because they want to beat up on nerds, right? So it's it doesn't translate. Why do they want? Oh, because they really want to feel good about themselves.
Well, yeah, but I mean, again, it's one of those. Like when everyone's like, well, they're just trying to get easier matches. But if you go 3-0, then you're back to where you ran from in the first place. So it's like, what's the point of having easier matches if it's
sorry, I was talking about StarCraft 2. Like that's when people sign into a competitive match and deliberately don't play. They want to go and beat up on nerds. It doesn't make sense. Like, you know, I understand where you're coming from. There's people that like, I deliberately set out a 3v3 because I don't like the game mode, and then I can beat up on nerds in 5v5. It's like, okay, I mean, that's fine. You're still going to be roughly in the same place. It's just going to be bigger peaks and troughs, right?
Yeah, it just doesn't matter. Like in the way this game's or Soga's PvP works essentially is that it's going to be damn near impossible to craft a system that separates those who spend from those who don't, from those who spend a little, and to those who are, you know, they're just savants with the kits, and they're very good at
I don't think the game should either, to be honest.
No, I don't think they should either. But that's the thing, is like people want they want back to when GAC when we first got it, when it was like you could go 12-0 in a week if you were, because you were based matched off your roster. GP. A very lean roster that gave you a lot of ability to punch up versus people who bloated, and like people want that. And I'm like,
that was also a little bit like inherently anti-competitive, because you were just like, let me just go and game the system as much as humanly possible to give myself the easiest matchups to, as Scribble said, I remember nerds.
I remember Scribe's count when we first started playing together.
Yeah, but that was pre-whaling days.
Well, pre-whaling, but like just how you played GAC was via that system, was abusing, being super lean and focused on what you were doing.
That's how I was successful in GAC in the early days, is because I would be like going in with, back then, Gear 12, like CLS and JTR and Palpatine, and I'd be facing nerds that had twice the GP, but they might have just like a bunch of Gear 8 characters. And it was like, well, you literally don't stand a chance because you've gone very broad. Sorry, they didn't have twice the GP. They had twice as many characters invested in, but it was all like Gear 8 and random Zetas, and mine were very, very specific. So I would have 5 incredibly good teams, and they would have 20 incredibly mediocre teams, and it would be, you'd go like 18-1. it would be ridiculous one-sided matches.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. It was completely gameable until like the first time they adjusted the matchmaking, and then they did it like we're gonna base it on like your top 85 GP. So it cut out all the people that didn't have very focused rosters. so like the people with weak focused rosters would all face each other, and the people that were really big sweat lords would all face each other. And then that became really frustrating because it was just like every match is a really fucking hardcore match. And then we got to where we are now, where it's just like it's a league and ladder system. So fun times. Yeah, it is, and like I said, candidly, I don't think that there should be a separation between Wales and free. Why should there be a separation of Wales versus free to play?
And like Karth is saying in chat, like, how do you actually separate that? Like, how do you draw the line? Like, if I, pay $30 a month for or whatever it is for the Conquest Pass, if I pay for the, whatever the character passes and everything, the like all those sorts of stuff, do I count as a pay to win then, or do I need to get every character to 7 stars, or if I bought the hyperdrive bundle, am I pay to win, or am I still free to play? Like, what are you? Where are we delineating this here? Yeah. It starts to get real frickin' murky. Well, we're gonna have 15 different divisions for how much you've spent on the game. And...
Exactly, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, right? Like, and
no, because I'm just thinking logistically.
Yeah, no, exactly. There's too many variables that go into it, and moreover, it's not like being free to play means you can't compete. Like, Calvin is one of the highest rated players in this game. He's never spent a penny. You know what I mean? But he's a very smart, competitive guy that has played for many years, has a big roster, and is able to keep up relatively well with all the new shit. There are plenty of competitive free-to-play players. It's not a case of you can't compete. It's like, what are you talking about? You can't compete. Why? Because you're not in the top 50 of Kaiba 1. Like,
there's a decided advantage, but...
Absolutely,
but yes.
You get an advantage, but if you don't get an advantage, why would people be paying?
But then you get the advantage... But then you get the advantage just to go and compete against everybody else who is also spending to get that advantage. So, it kind of cancels out a little bit.
You can get 90% of the rewards that a whale gets from competitive game modes without whaling. Like, being in Kaiba 2 is, in all realistic terms, it's basically as good as being in Kaiba 1. In every sense of the word. But the differences in difficulty and sweat lordiness between the, like, bottom and mid Kaiba 2 to even entry-level Kaiba 1 is huge. So you don't need to invest nearly as much in Datacrons. You don't need as many competitive teams. It's just wild. It's just wild.
And honestly, I would like to hear... I don't want to assume what his position would be, but I would venture to guess that Calvin, who we brought up earlier, would also not be in favor of separating out pay-to-win and free-to-play. Because honestly, that's kind of a badge of honor, I think, for somebody like him, saying, I compete. I climb my ass up there. I do my thing, and I'm not paying out the ass in order to do it. You've spent 6 figures in your account. I've spent nothing, and I'm still up here with the big boys. that's a badge of honor over there. So I think he would not want that because it would take something away.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah. Well, I don't know. There isn't an argument in my book as to why they should be a separation. Like, if you're talking about a competitive game mode, you might as well look at any other competitive sport in the world and be like, okay, but, fucking Manchester City in the soccer universe, you're not allowed to use all your really expensive players because that's not fair against fucking Wickham Wanderers. They can't compete, therefore... it's like, come on, dude. Like, you live in 2 different worlds.
You're over here. Again, that's not always the best example because Swigo is a very uneven playing field as opposed to something like football or rugby or anything like that, which would be a much more even playing field just by the by decree by the rules. But
I mean,
I don't know. I still stand by it.
The money certain clubs have to spend on players to get higher quality players.
Yes.
Completely precludes. There's a limited skill pool in the world, right?
Okay,
top-end players will always gravitate towards where they can get more money. So, like, the bottom division players and teams are never going to be able to afford top end players. So it's
from
never
that
going to be a
perspective,
fair,
yes.
competitive environment, right?
Yeah, from that perspective, 100% agree with you.
Yeah. So it's like that's what it's like when you get like a 2 million account that faces a 9 million GP account in GAC. It's like having a top end Premier League football team face someone that's like 2 or 3 leagues lower. It just doesn't make sense. It's like that. The matchup shouldn't happen. I agree, it shouldn't happen. But the reason the matchmaking happens isn't because there's a problem with the matchmaking. It's because there's a problem with people signing up and just not playing.
It's the player.
Yeah.
It's the player doesn't engage.
Team, a professional team signs up for the minors just to like beat up on some nerds because they can't like.
Or just not play, which they do half the time, right? They sign up and they're like, you know what? I get a sign-in bonus just for saying I'm going to play, but all my players are just going to sit down on the pitch, and we're going to be down the pub having a pint. You can just keep scoring goals on us. That's fine. Yeah, it's kind of like
but
that.
Of course,
it's just
then,
fucking weird. But occasionally,
of course, the argument then is that the leagues and the everything they do stuff to make sure that doesn't happen, because that wouldn't really be an enjoyable sort of a fucking game.
Exactly.
Who the hell wants to go watch that? So I guess the argument over there from Loot Flash would be, all right, cool, do something like that with Swigo, so you're not having these big accounts beat up on nerds, just like they over there. They don't have like these big ever clubs beating up on like the amateurs, because it's not really fun for anybody.
It isn't fun for anybody.
I think there's some way that they can do it, some way they can balance things.
I mean, what they need to do for a large portion of it is they just need a GP lockout of accounts falling out of certain divisions. Because like, if you're 10 million GP, you shouldn't be falling into Carbonite. I get that it benefits the player because they still get crystals on the daily based off of their league. And so I can understand why CG doesn't want to reward people who are inactive, but I mean, I understand that lower accounts don't want to be facing that because it's not necessarily fun for them.
No, it's completely demoralizing, isn't it?
To pray that they don't show up and don't attack, or they have to do more than one attack to win.
It's really weird because it becomes really difficult to police, and I can give loads of examples of this from my free-to-play account. My free-to-play alt account, which started in December, I have beaten accounts of 9 million GP that have tried and failed because they simply don't know how to kill an executor, and they don't know how to set a defense, and their mods are god-awful. So there is a certain contingent of player base that, even though they've got like 9 million GP, 7 million GP, 8 million GP, they're just shit at the game, and they deserve to be in fucking Carbonite too. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you balance that correctly? With a GP lockout saying you cannot go below this threshold. I mean, maybe it's that they never climb out of Carbonite in the first place, and so they're stuck in Carbonite, right?
That's the funniest thing for me to watch is these accounts that come through the auction server, and it's like you're looking at 13, 14, 15 million GP accounts with sub 100 plus 25 speed mods, or sub 50. And they can't figure out why their accounts aren't worth anything. It's like, well, yeah.
Like, I want $300 for this account, and we're like, I won't give you 3.
Yeah, no. Some of that's the disappointing part, is that you see some people that want like 1,000 for their account because it's 14 or 15 million GP, and nobody will bite on it because they have like 20 or 30 or 40 plus 25 speed mods. Like, there are other ways to make your account viable and competitive, and like you said, part of it is just knowing what to farm that causes the headaches first for a lot of players. The other part is learning what parts of the game that you just take time to improve on, and that modding is really important. It's like, I can't tell you how many accounts you come across, some people are like, what do you mean I got to have a certain speed on this character? I'm like, well, that's why that counter doesn't work. Zori needs to be 330 speed for this counter to work. And they're like, oh, well, I've been trying to use it and it's failed every time. I was like, well, duh.
There are reasons.
There are reasons.
That not everything is a hard counter. Sometimes the soft counters come down to modding and technical approach and stuff like that. And mods are very important.
But
it's just Loop, you're making the exact same argument that we are. That comparison is exactly what GAC is. If you haven't noticed, Kyber, Barodium, Chromium, Bronzium, Carbonite, those are leagues. Those are leagues.
But there's no restrictions to like that. So like a 15 million account can go down to Chromium and everything. So that's more what I was saying over there. Yes, I get what you're coming from a perspective over there. And like I agree, there is something that they can do to try and block things out. Oh yeah, Loot Flash. Again, I'm agreeing with you in principle on some part of it. I agree. There's something that they can do in order to make the matchups a little better with that sort of stuff.
Yep.
But I think just saying spender, no spender is probably the worst way possible to do it. It's a lot more nuanced than that between people who spend, people who don't spend. People who don't spend would want to fight with people who actually are spending because it's like they want to actually have like a good competition and not just be stuck with over here. If you spend once versus somebody who spends $100,000, how are you guys in the same league? If you want the hyperdrive bundle and you're a spender versus somebody who's spending six figures, like I mean, it's a very different story over there. So
thing is,
that specifically is not a good way to do it.
You can have a whale that started playing 2 years ago that has spent 10 grand, and they can have an account that's nearly the same as Karth's that spent 100 grand because he's been whaling for years.
Lightspeed bundles are such
Lightspeed bundles, exactly.
It's like,
and they can be going and competing with a free-to-play player who's been playing for 8 years. It's like, how do you delineate it?
And Loop, you're talking about Wales in Kyber 2. You're talking about the second best league. You're in the best league already. Kyber is the league. You're talking about the second best division in the game, and you don't want any Wales in the second best division in the entire game. Where else are they going to be? They can't. There's not enough room in Kyber 1 for it to be exclusively only Whales.
Well, the unfortunate part with Kyber 2 though is that Kyber 2 is such a massive amount of players compared to K1.
It's what is it? I think it's 10,000 or 20,000 players in Kyber 2. It's a big chunk of players. But I mean, it's the same in Kyber 3, and Kyber 4 is actually a little bit smaller. But that's just the way it is.
There's just more players in that. Like Kyber 1 is a few thousand, and then Kyber 2 is much larger. But I mean, like you go to the top end of Kyber 2 and it's pretty sweaty, and the bottom end of Kyber 2 people don't have a full field of datacrons. So it's like there's a lot of disparity between that in that particular division. But again, there is in a game that spending is encouraged for competitive advantage. And you're just like, I don't want to play with anybody who spends. I'm like, well, start a new account, start over.
Well, I mean, even then, you will still face people that don't spend.
You'll still find them.
They won't play very much.
It's just one of those things. Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like you're not going to get out of it. There's no way to delineate that. And what do you count as spending? Where's the threshold? Is it $100 or less? Is it $10 or less? Is it never swiped a credit card ever? Is it never been gifted anything ever? Like where do you? Is it never use a gift card? It technically wasn't your money.
If I was to take away like. All the gifted shit on my account, I would lose a couple million GP probably. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's it's too broad. It's too broad. It's too hard to slice and dice that way. And it's at the Kyber 2 range. You can absolutely face a large swathe of people that are free to play and large swathe of people that are pay to play. Like we talked about earlier, if you're winning 50% of your matches, you're where you should be. Yeah. If you can hang, if you can stay in Kyber 2, then you should be facing off against some whales. That's gonna happen. Like there's only a limited amount of space. I think you don't have an understanding of just how competitive Kyber 1 is. It's difficult to stay in Kyber 1.
Kyber 1's oddly competitive.
Unless you're like those Erodium players that still, for some reason, are getting catapulted to the top end of Kyber 1.
Also, just as a side note, where we are in the game right now, being in Kyber 2, being in Kyber 1 and everything, spending, I would almost say, has become a little bit less important as time has gone on. Because there's so much shit and so few spots on the board that you can use a lot of the older shit and just be working on all that stuff and still be competing against a lot of the newer things. You don't need the newest pirates in order to fucking win. You don't need the newest things. We got so much shit left over. By the end of a GAC, I've got like 10 teams left over. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck to do with. You know, if you are actually end game, if you're actually in the Kyber 2 range, then you likely have a lot more teams than or you're just not using them efficiently as you should be. That's just, if you're trying to get competitive, that's what you're dealing with, you know?
Yeah.
Just that's the game that you're playing.
Yeah. I mean that's just the competitive element of the game, right? It is what it is.
It's a resource management game, and you know, again.
It's fun times. It's fun times. Yeah, so they definitely need to do stuff, but Kyber 2 is not an area of the game that needs addressing. Kyber 2 and Kyber 1 is kind of fine. It doesn't apart from, like I said, those erodium counts that for some reason are still chilling in the top 50 of Kyber 1. That's kind of all kinds of fucked up. Like the fact that Tasnix can go in and in any championship he might have 3 or 4 matches against a player that's got 5 million GP and clearly should not be in the top end of Kyber 1. That's still something that needs to be fixed.
The best part with those characters,
the problem is in the much lower leagues.
Yeah, the best part with those characters is how long they stay in that top 8 position because they have so many points. They have to lose for like a season or 2 straight to get out of that top 8 position. It's
but they end up facing each other as well. That's the thing. So there's going to be occasions where you've got a 5 mil GP player facing off against another 5 mil GP player. So only one of them is going to lose. So they're still going to be gaining skill rating and maintaining their rank a little bit. It's kind of weird, dude. It's kind of like, what is going on? And I'm not sure how many there are, but there has to be like a dozen or so players, right? That are still like that. So
it fluctuates because every time the season ends, that wind up there, and it takes them so long to get out. There was a brief point in time where like the top 100, there was probably like 20 players that were like 8 million or less GP. They had no right or reason to be there, but they just kind of keep filtering in. It takes them so long to filter out.
Yeah,
that it was like a joke for a while. I think a couple of seasons of 5v5 ago, where I was like, every round I was doing, I always had one gimme. So that it was impossible to go 0-3 because if you went 0-2, your last fight was the 5 million GP player.
Yeah.
And so it was like,
so you're just like, okay, well, this one's a win.
Yeah. So it was
That's
kind of a joke.
That's when you go in and you try and solo a bunch of teams, right? With like Nest or something. Fun times. Oh man, sometimes like that, the free to play alt account sometimes does help keep it fresh for me, because it's like I get to do the stupid shit that doesn't make sense. It's like you get to somehow beat things that shouldn't work. Like they've got so many more relic levels than you, but their modding is so god awful, and they have no datacrons. And my alt account, I've got 2 datacrons, and they're both FDCs, so I can apply them because most of my characters aren't relicked. And even when there's no synergy, it's like, I'll take the extra 30% defense or whatever, you know? That's a win. But you can do stuff like, you know, Bounty Hunters versus Darth Revan. In reality, like, R8 Darth Revan, you should not be beating it with Bosk, Boba Fett, and goddamn Dengar or something like that.
I mean, you used to a long time ago. There's some old counters when datacrons fall away that still work if you're modded right, and that's just kind of like that. I remember when
this wasn't because of right modding. This is just that they've got like 220 speed on Darth Revan.
Yeah, they're so awful that they're so easy to outpace. Yeah, it when I took over Ash's account, which is now my alt. It was in Kyber 3, and like literally it was like he had no crons on the account, but neither did any of my opponents. And so it was just like going back to like counters from like 7 years ago. It's like, well, this works because I meet the speed check. So now Bounty Hunters kicks your butt, or you could use these off counters to beat Ray because there wasn't like 1,000% health increase on Ray anymore. So you could just go do whatever you want to do.
That's the only thing that's the executor is the only thing that's keeping my account afloat, because if I can clear their ground and they just for some reason can't deal with executor, which quite often they can't, even with like 8 million GP, it's really weird. Then I'm like, oh, I have a chance of actually winning here, even though I've got garbage teams. So I've been abusing the Rolocron with Keller and Beck Padawan Obi-Wan and Master Qui-Gon Jinn. But like, yeah, let's just get lots of assists. It's been more entertaining sometimes than the main account.
Yeah. No, I still do have my all occasion and do the GAC round.
Yeah.
But it's still fun, like to go back to some of that old school stuff and have things that work on principle and not on Datacrons. And so, but you know, at the same point, if we were at this point in the game with no Datacrons, the top end would be incredibly just awful. Just it would be so stale and boring.
Oh, and it would be even more stale than it already is. Yeah.
No. Datacrons are objectively a good thing for a competitive game mode. They just are. They keep things fresh instead of having to churn out new teams all the time and new counters. And we already get plenty of characters and plenty of teams. Having Datacrons that can flex new and old characters and make them do different things or perform in ways that they couldn't previously adds another dynamic to the game mode that is just a net gain. And I know there's a lot of people that still don't like Datacrons, and that's fine.
Yeah, because they're sitting there looking at dark side vision fucking array.
I genuinely cannot wait for that Datacron to go. Like, I'm so over that Datacron. You know, it was great when you were like, oh wow, Slacker can get holds, and now you're like, I hate this fucking Datacron.
Well, the funny part is,
like, just.
Yeah, once everyone figured out how to work around Slacker without needing JMK, and then you put both teams on defense, like literally my entire GAC board for the last season of threes was just like, we're gonna put 5 GLs in the bottom wall, and then if you can get through that wall, then you win. I'm not gonna try.
Yeah, fair enough. You're like, if I've got my wall down there with Slacker Ray, and then I've got JMK Cat Ezra, if you beat that wall, I'm not going to try anymore.
Yeah, nope. I'm gonna just crack open a beer and go enjoy my 200 crystals instead of 900.
And that's the thing in Kyber 1. Those counters can be so volatile. We're like, people are like, oh yeah, Balin works against it, and it's like, yeah, Balin works against it except when it doesn't. When every single one of your attacks just straight up misses Ezra. And I had that.
When Ezra claps Balin for like 400k off his special. It's like, oh, well, that's gone.
My Balin had 300% defense on his Datacron, or was it 300? Yeah, I think it was 300% defense on the Datacron with ramping offense on the level 3. And when it works, it's brilliant. It's so good. But there are occasions where it's just like, okay, every single attack from every single character just missed Ezra. Like every single one. You're like, well, it doesn't matter, does it? Like, I can't do anything. It's like, but then I found the very last round of GAC, I found out that fucking Mother Talzin Merrin destroys JMK Ezra because they just get plagued up to fuck and they can't avoid it and he die. I was like, you can duo it. You can go in Great Mothers to take out Cat, and then you can go in Mother Talzin. Merrin.
Two-tap it.
Two-tap it. So Mother Talzin Merrin Asajj will take out JMK Ezra because they get fuckloads of plague. You know,
and they can't kill him fast enough.
They can't kill him. Well, no, they can't. And you just loop basics because you can't stop the TM games of Merrin. So JMK's leadership doesn't stop those TM games. It's just
yeah,
because it's an irresistible TM game from Merrin.
It can't be prevented. Yeah.
So
there we go.
You go auto basic, and they get 178 stacks of plague or whatever it is, and die when they take a turn.
And then
so it's like, fuck! I wish I'd have known this before. That would have been a great counter. But now, of course, the next time 3v3 comes around, the Hodocron's going to have gone.
It'll be gone.
It'll be gone. People might. I guarantee week 1 you'll still see JMK Cat Ezra on defense. There'll still be people being like, yeah, this counter fucking rocks. So maybe I'll get to use it there. Who knows? But it's good times. It's good times. I fucking hate that Datacron. So the thing is, Datacrons can be great. It's just when they go that kind of level of crazy, we saw it with the Great Mother's Datacron, it's too much.
Yeah. They can get out of hand. That is for sure.
Well,
I prefer like the Wampacron and stuff like that.
Wampacron's awesome.
Yeah.
The best part for me is the Wampacron was so easily like everyone's like Wampacron beats Jabba, right?
Yeah.
And then literally it's like, but if you just put like 200% defense on Jabba, Wampa gets wrecked. It's just like
unless you're like me and you have an R9 Wampa and you still beat it.
Well, you can. Yeah, you can, but anyways,
the likelihood drops off a cliff.
I can't tell you how many holds I got on Jabba with Bausch and Lando as the attackers with no tank.
Yeah.
Because they would send in Wampa. They're like, oh, it's easy. Yeah, but there's 370% defense there. Like Wampa can't kill them fast enough. It's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. I have I put out a short the other day, and my Wampa counterattacked Jabba, which means he attacks under protection and all the bonus protection. And he did 500k. It's just like, yeah, suck it, nerd.
Oh, those
Sounds
numbers
about
are
right.
so ridiculous. I love it. I love the Wampacron just for the ludicrousness. That's the thing that I appreciate when CG does with Datacrons, is when you make something ludicrously powerful, but it's only offensively applicable. Like then I'm kind of okay with it because it's more interesting to a degree.
We also only need like one of these per set. I don't want like we need one per set max, because these days with FDCs we're getting like 3 rounds of FDCs and 2 different rounds of Datacrons, right? Active at any given time, or can be active at any given time. I don't want to have shit. I don't need loads of that. I want one to be floating that is just like, but it would also be great if it was like very specific. Like Wampa can deal with Leia and Wampa can deal with Jabba, right? But you don't want it to like carte blanche beat everything. It should be like, it just happens to be a really good counter versus. I was going to say Glat for a minute then. I thought, fuck Glat. It's just really good against Lord Vader, like kind of like Bo-Katan Mandalore. Just with that Rolocron, just happens to body Darth Vader, Lord Vader, with the clones all the time. Stuff like that. So yeah. Good times. Should we check out questions? Because I think we are.
There's a couple, and we're
at 140. Tail end. Okay. Oh, it's only a couple. Yeah. Okay. So Bubba Joe asks, on Friday night, I guess that was this Friday, was it? Yeah, must have been. He admitted that he's not at all excited for Pirate King Hondo and Akka. I stand by that statement. Are any of the Tribe Talks team excited if you're only getting him because that's all you've got to do in the game?
Well, I mean, we answered this earlier.
We did. We are all getting him because we are all endgame. What else are we going to farm? Like,
it's the thing to do, as you said.
Wolfie's got a little bit of a thing for Hondo in general, so it's not like
I have to get Hondo regardless.
Even if Wolfie was missing like 3 things from the journey guide, he would probably be like, "I'm getting Hondo."
Oh yeah,
Hondo!
Absolutely.
Yeah,
100%. Without a doubt.
Yeah. So we're all getting it because, I mean, we have nothing else to unlock. So yes. Follow-up question: can each of you name the Galactic Legend character that would have you excited about their addition to the game? The only restriction should be that it has to be Galactic Legend worthy. Whatever you think this means. That's a good question, Bubba Joe. I like that question.
I mean, the easy one is my old favorite and go-to, which would be like Reverend Reborn.
Thank you.
Like that would be exciting for me.
Yeah.
It would honest to God, anything that would be exciting probably be what would be deemed at this point Legends content. It's just stuff that's not mainstream Star Wars.
Yeah.
There is nothing mainstream Star Wars that would interest me at all to be a Galactic Legend.
Hold up, you wouldn't get excited for Galactic Legend Babu Freak? He's a legendary mechanic, droidsmith, dude.
Hey!
Yeah.
No.
He can be the first tiny unit where you could get 6 units on the field because he's so small.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh man, yeah. We've got large units now. We have tiny units.
Yes. Now you can have 8 units on the field because they share a spice.
Hey!
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Outside of that, it would just be like Legends content. I'd love to see some Sith Lords come in as a potential Galactic Legend. There's even Jedi or Sith characters from those universes that could be fun. I guess it depends on what you'd want to build out, but that's where I would go to as the start of like what I'd want for a GL that I'd be actually be interested in. Outside of that, it's just like you couldn't like only else like, I'm thinking of are like factions. Like you could do like a GL Yoda, or you could do.
Does feel like Yoda does deserve a GL variant.
Yes.
High Republic GL Yoda, just like.
I always did think it was a little bit weird that he wasn't at least like a legendary or anything. Like, I mean, it's fucking Grandmaster goddamn Yoda. How is he not at least like?
He is a legendary.
Some sort of. I mean, sorry, not at least like a good legendary. Like
yeah,
somebody who's actually
good,
fucking
though?
Useful. Like, I guess he is technically a journey guide. Yeah, so he does.
He's just
suck,
old now.
Though.
That's the only issue, right? He's just old. He's outdated kid.
Yeah.
It's just awful. Fuck. He's just
was
so bad.
A funny point that that Solo brought up a while ago when in our Discord, because people were talking about like some team, I think Mace getting beat by Malgus, and they're like, well, but Malgus just walks right over him. He's like, oh yeah, let me forget about the Conquest unit with triple Amis, the Epic Confrontation, and the legendary character that's on his team.
Yeah,
it's like, well, yeah, of course, it's like it's just they're just older, but like they were pinnacle characters at their time. You know, it's
plus
it's just one of those.
Not for nothing, but even when we just had Revan come to the game,
Yeah,
the whole shtick was countering Jedi. Like the whole faction was designed to shit on Jedi. It came to counter the Jedi Knight Revan meta. So it hard counted Jedi out of the gate.
Yeah, it did. It was just so funny because people were just like butthurt about it, and I'm like, yeah. And now you can see why everyone was butthurt when Glatt came to the game, and then Leia's the hard counter. It's like, oh, the GL that the GL that everyone's wrapping up getting right now before her release is like, hey, we all have it. It's like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. I would have actually been happier if the go-to counter to Leia was to Glatt was just C. Like if everything else struggled with it, but C was just like, oh, I happen to deal with you very well.
That would be nice. Space. That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, if they even if all they did was for Glatt teams stop rebels attacking under protection so that Drogon can't just one-shot Ezra out the gate, that would have been enough. It would have been enough to drag out that battle.
I think C needs a slight rework, and his the linked characters that he targets we need to get exiled as well.
Well, we were also saying the other day, I think it was on Friday, we were saying I would like if they rework C's ability, because he prevents revives and everything, and whenever a Sith dies, they like get a cleanse and a health boost and everything. I would like if he, thematically, they can't be revived because he absorbs their essence. Give him like a 5 sacrifice kind of thing, and he gets stats from there, like a Bane sort of thing. Yeah.
So we'll gain a percentage based on relic levels.
You do Dark Ascension. You do Dark Ascension, the mechanic that's already in Conquest and the
I know the one. Yeah, 15%.
Yeah, I
more
forget
damage.
exactly what it does.
No, yeah, 15% less damage, 30% more damage, something like that per stack. But I think CG would rather go for relic level investment, right? So it's
I agree. You could tweak it a little bit to be a different mechanic, but same idea is that whenever an ally dies, he gains a portion of whatever stats you want based off their relic level, and then basically solo C becomes like then you have a reason to run 5% or health C Bane.
5% health, protection, offense, defense per relic level of the character that died would be enough to make him a nuisance. Obviously, if they could change it for 3v3 to be like in 3v3 this value is tripled, like
yes,
that would be nice.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it need to be tripled though per se in 3v3 because you're also dealing with a lot less incoming firepower too.
Well, I mean,
but either which way, I mean, it would need to specifically be Sith related. When Sith allies, die, you absorb their essence versus just dark side allies or whatever. But anyways,
make that the reason for the revive prevent.
Yeah, but it would be fun to have. But at this point with C Bane, I don't see them ever rehauling C's kit again. but it could be fun to do something.
You never know.
That's why I want Snoke. I want Snoke to be the new lifter, but it has to be all units must be Sith, and it must be a full team of Sith.
I don't know if I would like Snoke to be in the game.
We have to have Snoke, dude. We have. There's no. Here's the main antagonist of The Force Awakens.
That's true.
We have to. It seems like a big faux pas. We've got Hux in the game. We've got Rose Tico in the game, but we don't have Snoke. I mean, come on.
Well, we have Rose
the
Tico
hero
in
of the
game because
resistance.
That clear, 12-second romance between her and Finn.
What the random one that was forcefully injected with zero chemistry. That romance.
Yeah.
No.
At the very end of a movie to make a certain cinematic part more dramatic, and people were kind of hoping
with some pretty corny dialogue.
Yeah.
After they had been subtly hinting at him and Poe for a little while, but there
was definitely a very strong. I'm calling it a bromance is wrong because there was some definite under vibes there of. I
there
think
was some insinuations.
If they got stranded on Jakku in the middle of the desert, I think we would have seen some things happening.
I'm not touching that one.
some Brokeback Sand Dunes.
So nobody's making any Jakku jokes.
Jakku jokes? Yeah, exactly. Anyway, that could have possibly happened. So we've had Carthrick's input. Wolfie, what GL would get you horny right now?
Oh, I knew what Karth was going to say as he was saying it. That's why I pointed to him so he could say Revan, because I was like, yes, obviously. Fucking Revan, come on. Yeah. Aside from that stuff from canon, or like from the like the most recent stuff, or like from the shows or anything, the only maybe I could see like the father, and he would be like hanging out with the son and daughter sort of thing. They could like hang out with the Mortis gods. That can maybe be a thing if they end up doing something with Abeloth. In Ahsoka season 2, if that ends up being a thing, then maybe that could be interesting to bring in there. So I would say if I was going to choose something from canon, it would probably be something more along those lines with the Mortis gods. Otherwise, because those are obviously galactic legends, all right? Those are like legitimately, those are GL power, like GL tier characters. Probably the last ones we actually have in game, like in universe right now. Aside from that, it's all legends content. So I know technically they did name Revan, so he's not in what do you call it? In I would say the last. Was it the Rise of Skywalker?
He was in Rise of Skywalker.
9.
Yeah, he was like one of the voices at the end or something like that. Yeah.
So
I think he's technically So he's technically there. He's technically canon. So I mean, make it happen. Bring him in. Otherwise, Mortis gods.
Yeah, I mean that would like if anything was gonna be like galactic legend worthy, you'd think it would be Mortis gods, right?
Yes,
like,
they are of the tier.
Or even like
they would be of the higher
Luke.
tier.
It would have to be a tier above galactic legend, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm still with Karth and Wolfie there. Like Revan is kind of like the no-brainer. He's kind of like the it has to be Revan sort of thing. Apart from that, obviously, clearly has to be GL Proxy. GL Proxy. He can literally be anyone.
Yep.
He can be anyone. So,
dude, honest to God, though, like again, it's just on that road of Legends characters. Like there is so much from like the video games and Legends I'd love to see in this game,
Abeloth,
and well, that's another can of worms, but it just there are things that are more interesting to me than what keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak, with keeping up with the new content releases that they keep doing. Like, I get it, but like it doesn't hold my interest the same way. There's been very little that's come out recently that I'm like I was excited for. I was excited for the early Mando stuff when it first came into the game. I liked that kind of content. There was some stuff from Star Wars, the newer movies that was interesting. But now it's just like I'm not connecting with the content very much, and so it's just not as enjoyable. But again, it's one of those things where it's like, you're talking about a very out of the total number of players, it's how do you get the combined perspective of 400,000 players for what would you like to see next in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes? It's like, if you're dealing with a lot of people our age, we got a lot connection to that, to the Legends content and the earlier releases of stuff versus what's new now. And so it's like, what do you focus on? But I don't know. I'd love for them to try to get more stuff from Legends in. I think some of the most excitement and hype we had around the game was when Starkiller came in with Mara Jade and Kyle Katarn and all that kind of stuff. I think
the Starkiller release was fucking next level. Like all those units were so good for the game because they just lifted so many teams and then ended up with like such a beloved character from the Star Wars lore. It was just like, it was such a good time. I've been waiting to chase that high again because I remember when the last character was Dash that came for that, and I remember us saying it's Dash Rendar. I was like, who? I was like, that can't be it. But it was a bait and switch. It was like, it is Dash Rendar, but Dash Rendar leads to Starkiller, and then everybody lost their fucking minds. It was a great time. It was a great fucking time. So apart from that, I do think that we have to hearken in the coming of the GL Jawa Sandcrawler to really uplift the Jawa unit. Obviously, it's going to be a large unit, just chills in the background.
We need that lady.
That could be a thing,
That lady needs to be the Jawa lifter,
Pelly.
The Jawa girlfriend.
The Jawa jacker.
Yeah. Yes, new conquest unit. Pelly motto. Done.
Yeah. Good times.
I love it.
Yep. Yeah. So it's good times. I love it. Okay, so the only other question we have is when will there be a Karth stream? Karthric, when are we having a Karthric stream?
Every Sunday that I'm here.
That's my stream. A Karthric stream, yes.
Oh.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's official.
I have no intention of doing my own streaming now. That time has come and gone. I have too much going on in my personal life to have the time to stream, so
yeah.
To effectively stream. It's like I'm West Coast, and so like for me it would be like 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock for me is like when the majority of Swigga is winding down, and so it's like I'm missing all the highlights. There's not much for me to do on that, and so it's like.
And Swigga is already a very saturated market when it comes to if you're going to stream something, like GAC, for example, like the peak times to stream GAC are already very saturated with streamers. There's loads of people, and when you're trying to compete with people like me and Calvin and Zareth and Nooch and Arnold, like it's hard to find a spot where you're going to get viewership. And
I will say though, however, that's a very short list you just rang off. That list used to be like. It just I'm saying
keep on naming names. I can keep.
No. I mean, like in the peak times, that list of names used to be like 20 names long of everyone who was going at the same time.
Yeah.
Like in the peak Swiggo, like the Swiggo streaming, like in the COVID lockdown and all that sort of stuff, you'd get 10 people like live at the same time. It just got crazy.
That's why you used to have people literally just talking with each other to say, I'm going to take this slot, I'm going to be doing it for an hour and a half, and I'm going to raid you. And it used to be just like you could probably sit and watch GAC for like 6 hours, and that's not just Wolfie's GAC. That
it would actually be playing GAC the whole time. I know, it's crazy.
It's a wild thought, right? I say that, but I've had Friday night streams that have gone on for 6 hours. Granted, there's probably not a whole lot of gack going on there, but like it used to be, you'd join one person's stream and they'd raid to another person and another person and another person, and that would go on for hours. It could go on for fucking ages. Obviously the streamer universe has decreased, but you've still got a lot of big players out there taking up a lot of the viewership, and it's very hard to incentivize yourself to try and compete with that. It's hard. Sexytron, of course. Not forgetting Sexy Vexy.
Especially when my career has a lot more incentive to it. So it's just like,
yeah, I earn a little bit of money, guys. I don't know if you're aware, but Karthric has not an oil empire, but a real estate empire, and that's nearly as good, I guess.
No, it's just for a long time I had interest in doing it, and then it's just there's so many other things pulling at me that I got to spend time on, and it just became one of those things where it's like,
you don't want to
it would be fun, but
yeah,
it's like, yeah, it like for me, I'm one of the bigger content creators, but I don't, short of maybe the occasional incredibly large donation, I make more money in my day job than I do pushing out shitloads of videos to YouTube and streaming multiple times a week. So I imagine I earn a fraction of what Garth earns. So it's even less incentive for someone like him to try and start from scratch.
And it's very hard to do construction from home.
I mean, you get some drones and be like, "Oh, you put this bit here."
Yeah, no, it's possible.
You gotta do everything modular. It's fine.
There you go. But yeah, it just never it made sense a couple years ago. Kind of put it off, and then it got to the point now where it's just like, I'm in the process of starting a new company. I'm in the process of getting a new project going. I got a big sale that's coming up, and it's just like a lot of things that just take all my free time. And the other downside for me too is like being the very small pool of West Coast streamers in general. It's like there's nobody to hang out with. So it's like if it's a boring day or there's something going on, it's like everyone's gone to sleep by the time I'm start streaming or would start. So it's like there's not really the community there. It's like, so like, back when I was really into being on a lot of streams, it was because I had time at noon my time to hop in with Ranger or to hop in with Scribe and hang out on stream for a couple hours, and it didn't matter. But it's like now it's like I don't have time to do that throughout the day, and so by the time it's 5 or 6 o'clock my time, it's like I can't roll in. You guys have all gone offline. Everyone's asleep.
Yeah.
Besides maybe Wolfie, because he's going to stream for 8 hours straight.
Yeah.
But
I have a day job and I can't be up until 3-4 in the morning every morning.
Oh, exactly. Well, and that's
only on a Friday night where I will do that.
Well, and that's why like my Friday nights I haven't been around on Friday nights as much anymore, is because I'm working all the way till like 5 or 6 o'clock my time, which is when you're ending your stream, and so like I can't even get in there in time to do anything. It's just like.
Plus, candidly speaking, I'm sure when you've just finished work, the last thing you want to do is drop in on 10 to 15 shots deep people. Yeah. Just like, fucking, you know what else?
Yeah. I can't get drunk enough fast enough to keep up with you guys. Like, bless your hearts. But like, if you're sober walking into a room full of drunk people, just in general, that is a very grating situation to be in. And I'm just like, I still have to be a responsible husband for like 2 more hours. So
we're not 21 anymore.
By the time the wife gets home.
and it's not even like pissed. The level of pissed you would have to get to would have to be significant.
I would be chugging a fifth of alcohol the second I got off work to catch up to you guys.
Yeah, that ain't worth it, bro. That ain't worth it. It would probably be for like an hour's worth of chilling.
Yeah, exactly.
And I would be full unconscious at my desk.
Yeah, I would be hammered for the rest of the night plus the next morning. So it's like, not a good idea.
Yeah. One day. Well, Karth, listen, man. When I don't know why I say when I'm successful, because if anything, I'm having less time to do videos and less time to stream, and my viewership is going down as a consequence. So the chances of me getting big enough to make it, independently are decreasing, not increasing. But if it were to be the other way, then I could have a stupid, fucked up sleep schedule. But that's not going to happen.
It's true, but you have other things in life that you're being successful at. So that's. That we'll take that in. But what we'll just do is we'll celebrate your success in all fronts of your life when we just meet up. Because I know my wife is hounding me to get to the UK, and so
hell yeah, I'd love to have you. Or if not, we can always meet up in somewhere that's actually interesting and not where I live, like London or something. But I have learned how to wire a light switch. So, you're not too old to learn how to wire a light switch. I'm very proud of myself.
How many times did you shock yourself?
0, actually, because I turned off
the fuse box.
I would say hopefully you did, yeah.
I turned off the fuse box, but I also have myself a fluke pen that can test to see if there's actually an electric current going through the wires.
I can't tell you how many
What if it's
times...
a fluke?
Ooh.
Yeah, there's that too. I can't tell you how many times though I've just been like, I can do it live.
Oh
And
no!
you're like, son of a bitch.
No, I can't tell you how many times I either make the assumption that somebody's turned off the breaker and I don't check it, and I go and I grab the side of like an outlet or a switch and it's live and it gives you a nice little jolt. Or you make the decision of I can do it live, and you're trying to wrangle one of those wires around the screw, and you're just like, and then you just like if I can just put my thumb right.
Yeah, I don't want to run that risk ever.
Yeah, no.
I turned that shit off, and yeah. So I had some great fun this week where I bought myself some new light switches because I was like, I've got these shitty old normal like white plastic rocker light switches. I was like, I want some nice fancy toggle light switches. So I bought myself some fancy ones and then took off the wiring of the plug and I rewired my new light switch. I was like, ooh, I tested it, lights come on. I was like, fuck yeah. And then I go to screw it to the wall and I'm like, oh, fuck, the back box isn't deep enough for this switch. So I can't screw it back in. So I have to then unwire the light switch and rewire the old shitty one. And I've had to do that like 3 times. So, because, I'm a dumbass.
Welcome to home ownership.
The first time I did it, I was like, I have this lounge dining room set up, kind of open plan, separated by like an archway, right? And if you picture this, you're in the room on the left-hand side, and there's the light switch there, and you've got a left switch and a right switch. And on the right-hand side, there's the lounge. Left-hand side is dining room. You're in the dining room. You would think the left switch, which is in the dining room, turns on the dining room light, right? Because it's the left room.
No.
Exactly, Carth. It's no.
It doesn't.
It turns on the dining room light. So the light switch, they're like, it's going to wrong rooms, diagonally speaking, when you turn on the light. I was like, that's fucking annoying. So I'm going to rewire this to be the right way around. Okay? So I unscrew the light switch. What's the bug going to be, Carth?
Huh?
What's the but?
I said good luck. I said good luck.
Oh, good luck. I thought you said but. So yeah, I take off the light switch and I rewire the plugs and I test them and I'm like, fucking great. I fixed it. I got the right switch going to the right-hand room, the left switch going to the left-hand room. That's when I find out that whoever did the electrician work in the first place had cut the wire on one of the cables too short. So you can't actually fit the light switch back into the socket. I was like, you fucking son of a bitch, you cut it too short so it won't actually go back in now. So then I had to buy a fucking capo switch and I had to buy some twin and earth and I had to strip the twin and earth and get the cable and put it into the capo switch and extend the cable to fit it back in. And I was like,
it's a little fucking jumper. Oh my God.
I was like, that's so much effort.
So this is one of those things. This is one of those things where it's like, because it's not a code issue, that happens a lot in all kinds, because they don't want to own up and rerun that wire, so they just go, well, we're just gonna flop them, and that's where
the switch turns to the wrong fucking light. Deal with it, bitch. So yeah, but it was a good learning experience for me because now I know how to extend the cable. So I now know how to do that.
Just don't have any electrical inspector, because they'll probably tell you it's wrong. If the electrical inspector has gotten to the point where he's unscrewing my light switches and checking the cables, he's probably doing a good job. He's like, that's not up to code. I'm like, yeah. Depends on. Well, in like the states, as a homeowner, you can get away with a lot of stuff. That doesn't have to be permitted, but it can still be addressed on like the sale of a home, and they can be like, oh, okay, we want a professional to fix this or whatever else. But anyways, sidestep that conversation.
I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. So basically, now I have a bunch of back boxes. I've got like 10 back boxes, and I need to change like 10 light switches.
Oh no!
But that means I need to start fucking drilling into brick and drywall to make the sockets deep enough to fit the new back boxes, and then have to recable. It's a big fucking deal. It's a whole.
You got a whole project ahead of you.
I do, but it's my own home, and I'm very excited to do it. I had lights, new lights fitted in my dining room. I changed a single pendant light into a triple pendant light hanging over my dining table. It made me feel very happy. I was like, oh, I did that. Well, I didn't do that.
Nice.
I paid a contractor to do that, and he fucked up my ceiling, so I'll have to fix that. But I did that. It looks nice. Apart from the ceiling with the big hole in it. It's not a big hole, it's a small drill hole, but
Little putty, you'd be all right.
Maybe I was naive in thinking that he would actually clean up after the work, but he didn't do that. So, yeah, I need to get myself some... I've got some polyfiller. I need to just fill up some of that hole and then sand it down and then paint it to look like it was never there.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
It'll be fine. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't think we have any other questions.
No, I think that was it. We had a question in YouTube chat about Darth Plagueis, coming in. We touched on it a little bit earlier, being a sea lifter and whatnot. Cool.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Definitely another option, but we'll have to see what they end up doing. Yeah. So,
I mean, who knows? Maybe next one will be the season of the Acolyte, but I doubt it.
Oh, please no.
Carth, that would be the nail in the coffin for Carth.
I would.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
I would.
Oh, I'm 100% skipping Acolyte content.
I would literally just set up my account on autopilot, and I would take the next three months off of Swolga, and then reevaluate if I wanted to come back.
But how much fun would you have in GAC killing Yord? I mean, that would be kind of fun.
I barely know who the character that is. I don't care.
He's the annoying dude with the weird fucking hair.
Yeah, I remember. I know which one he is. I barely know. I just happen to know the fringe information.
To barely know you.
Yeah. But like that whole entire show, there is next to nothing that I want to come from that game. Like not even Khmer or whatever you want to, the actual Acolyte.
Yeah, no.
I'm just not interested by any of that.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if you wanted to pump out that and berry unit, I would skip it, and I would just be like,
to be honest, to a certain degree, it might be more fun defeating Osher and May than Yord. Like, I disliked Yord, but yeah, I don't think we ever get Acolyte content. I just don't see it happening.
Can I link them with C and kill them both at the same time?
Can I link 3 people, Osher, May, and Yord? We'll let Jackie live for now.
She's already impaled 3 times. I think she ain't coming back.
She's been, gosh dang. But hey, good times.
Anyways.
I know. I'd be surprised.
Well, didn't they skip over the Acolyte and go right to the
Pirates?
Yeah, Skeleton Crew. So I don't see them
speaking, Skeleton
back.
Crew came out like 6 months after the Acolyte.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So hopefully that's permanent.
That's just a blank spot in our memory. Is like, did something happen over that time period?
The only reason I remember anything about the Acolyte talking about is it could fade off into the distance.
Yes. Sorry, Garth, you cut out then for a minute. I didn't get what you said.
Oh, I said the only reason I know anything about it is because we keep talking about it. It needs to fade off into the distance.
Yeah. It's a good time. Okay, well, I guess we'll wrap that up there. We've hit our 2 hours and 10 minutes. God, we are so busy.
Oh, shit. Yeah,
it's been a good one. And ladies and gentlemen, I will not be streaming GAC at the start of next week. You'll have to catch me on the Friday night stream. Hope to see you there. Wolfie will probably stream GAC, though, on Wednesday or Thursday.
Probably.
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Yes. Wednesday. All right, guys. Love you all. See you all very soon. Peace out. Bye.